Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's been a hot minute, but we are back. The pandemic happened, you see, and it's been interesting. But anyways, today I had a question for my email list. If you're not on it, you can click below. I had a question that so many people asked on my email list that I felt like we really needed to address it seriously, and it was, how do you do it all? How do you, if you don't follow me on Instagram, I share a lot there. But I'm assuming, because it was a lot of short, how do you do it all? I'm assuming it's keep up with the kids, have an actual, like, some sort of schedule going, get things done all at the same time of being a mom and having a business and work just like anybody else. And yeah, so we're going to address that question today. So if you want to know how I do absolutely everything, keep watching. Okay, let's be honest. I don't do it all. I felt like so surprised when I saw that question come up because I'm like, oh my gosh, do they not know that I'm a hot mess half the time? Like, and I'm not a hot mess half the time. I'm a former hot mess. um, growing up, and still sometimes now, I was never one. I hate cleaning. I hate dishes. I hate laundry. I'm not one to want to pick up the house. I'm much more like, oh, I want to do my little project. I'm good. I'd rather work. I'd rather do things that help you guys than clean my house. But it got to a point where I was like, oh my gosh, we can't live like this. I can't live like this. So I started searching for a better way to do things. And you know, even now that I have, like, we have my whole family, it was kind of a journey with all of us. We've progressed so much, and we get so much more done, and we keep the house cleaner, and we are happier in general. And it doesn't mean that I do it all. I still don't. It doesn't. My house is still messy. There's always one messy room. The kids are still out of control sometimes. I still call for takeout when I get stressed out sometimes. It's not like I'm not this person who does it all. I've just found systems and schedules that work for me, and I know you can do the same. So, what I am going to talk about is a few different things that I think helped me along the way and that can help you to actually figuring out what doing it all means. And this brings me kind of into point one. But point one is, doing it all doesn't mean the same thing to everyone. Maybe doing it all to you just means keeping a clean house. Maybe doing it all to you means being the mom who, like, has all the fun activities and spends so much awesome quality time with her family and keeps the house clean and runs a business. And you know, there's so many versions of doing it all out there. And I think it's okay to have different ideas of what success looks like to you as a person. So that's where we start, to prioritize. Prioritizing your tasks that you do every day will massively help you overcome this feeling of, one, you don't have to do it all. I'm just going to put it out there. You need to get to the point where you're not overwhelmed by all the things that are going on in your life, right? By the messy house, by the screaming kids, by the crazy kitchen. There's so much going on already. You don't need all that also. So, priorities. And you've got to decide what are the things that actually matter to you. And there's a lot of different ways that you can decide these priorities, and we can dive deeper on that later. But that's probably a whole nother video. But knowing your why, like, what are the things that are really important to you? And that, for me, it's my family time. It's having a space that I am grateful for and respectful of. I don't know, I've been going through this thing of, like, learning, like, oh my gosh, when I'm so much more, when I practice how grateful I am of things, I take better care of them. So, being grateful and, like, just thinking about, as I'm doing my housework and everything, and as I'm doing all this stuff, I'm taking care of the things I have, and I'm practicing gratefulness as I'm doing it. And then obviously, my business and helping you guys and being here for you, like, I love doing that. So those would be three things that are my priorities. But then going deeper and figuring out like what are the tasks, my everyday tasks that help work towards those priorities. And then you kind of break it down from there. So figuring out and not overwhelming yourself with all of these things is really important. An example, I'll give you a few examples, but like, so my business is important to me, helping you guys is important to me. So I make sure to set aside time every single day, no matter how crazy my house is, no matter how crazy everything else is, to work on my business. It's usually like anywhere from 1 hour to 3 hours. It's not, I would love for it to be 3 hours every day, but it's not. And then sometimes I add on time at night and stuff when I have a lot more to get done, but it just depends. So I make sure that time's blocked out, and that's that. I don't focus on anything else then. So having that priority system has really helped me. Having a schedule that works for you is going to be super important to actually feeling like you're getting all the things done. And this takes trial and error. It's something that we're still trying out. I'm still trying to figure out where exercising fits in my day. Like, is it better to do it in the morning? Is it better to do it at night? Should I do it in the afternoon? Like, I'm still playing around with that. But finding that schedule and that flow that works for you and your family, I say you and your family because it's important that it works for everybody in the house, makes all the difference. I've noticed too that when I have my planner and I have a list of things I need to do every day, I've marked my priorities, and then I get to actually mark off things on my planner. It feels so good. And it actually reinforces these things of like, if you get on this trajectory, right? I'm sorry, I'm a hand talker. But if you get on this trajectory and you reward yourself with some kind of, even just crossing off on that list, it's a little reward. Like, it feels satisfying. It's going to help you keep the forward motion. So keep going on it. And I would really highly suggest writing everything you want to do down in a day. But don't write down a million things. And I better stop on scheduling now because we're actually going to talk about schedules next week. But having a schedule that works for you and your family and actually being able to cross things off that list makes you actually see physically with what all you do in a day. It makes you, oh my gosh, well, of course, like, I can't do all the things. Of course that's not possible because these are all the things I have time for in a day, and that's okay. You just have to figure out the systems that work for you and your family, and figure out what you as a person are capable of, and then find ways to improve. I'm always looking for ways to tweak our schedule or like what I'm doing in a day so that it's more efficient. Little hacks all day long. I live for them. So if you got any tips, you let me know. I'm going to have tips for you later. In a week or two. I can't remember where it is on the schedule, but it's coming. But regardless, always trying. And this is a big point. Even if you fail a day, we try again the next day. I think that's something that I got myself in a lot, was getting in this rut of like, ugh, I can't stick to a schedule. I never stick to it. I never do it. It's not possible for me. And then I noticed as I just kept trying, it worked. It kept, like, every day is a new day, and every day is a new day to try new things and to try keeping that rhythm going. So I have been reading a lot of books lately, and one of them is by James Clear, and he talks a lot about habits. And he says that he will miss a habit one time, and that's okay. He doesn't stress about that. When he misses it the second time, that's when he stresses, because that's when it starts to become a new habit. So just keep trying. Each day is a new opportunity. Keep working on it. You can do it. I promise. On that same vein, I think my last point that I wanted to make about doing it all, and I'm going to say that in air quotes because I honestly don't believe in doing it all, but making things that feel like work, making them feel not like so much like work, that is is a great way to actually get more done in your day and do all the things. So creating habits is a great way to do this, and making anything that you're doing, trying to make it fun in some way. So something that is really like something you really don't enjoy. Let's just say for me, it was the dishes. Dishes is a great example here. I hated doing dishes. I loved doing dishes. I started pairing doing dishes with drinking coffee and listening to a podcast in the morning. Lo and behold, after several weeks of doing that, a few, I didn't mind doing dishes one bit. It became a routine part of my morning, and I actually really enjoy now the simplicity of doing this very mindless task, because now it's mindless, and listening and sipping my coffee and just having like this time that, to me, doing it is peaceful, even though there are children screaming and running around and asking for breakfast all at the same time. But it became this time that is actually like really easy for me to. It's really easy for me to do. I'm doing something that I enjoy. I'm drinking my coffee. I'm listening to my podcast, and it set a different type of tone to the work. This is another reason why people, if you put on music and clean, that is a great way of making it fun. If I put on music when I clean, I dance around my entire house. So, and I do that often. But like pairing that with little things like that and keep doing it, it gives you this feeling that things are actually working. The last thing I want to talk about on doing it all is using the magic timer method. So there is a link below where you can sign up and get the full freebie on what the magic timer method is and how to do it, and a little worksheet that goes with it. But small smidgen is basically like I use a timer to limit how long I'm cleaning, and then I stop. Yeah, I stop. I don't finish the job. I stop. So if you want to check that out and the reason why I stop and all that stuff, you can check it out below. But that is what I'm going to leave you with for this week. Next week, we're going to be talking about schedules. So if you're checking this out later, it should be linked somewhere around here where we talk about schedules. And I am so excited to see you all again. All right. Bye.